Rimuru Tempest might actually be one of the most overpowered characters in anime's history. He started as a weak slime with almost nothing, but by the end of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. He becomes a literal god tier, being with abilities that let him manipulate reality, devour souls, and even control space and time. But here's the crazy part, most people don't realize how many abilities Rimuru actually has. Throughout the series, his skills constantly evolve, combine, and upgrade into stronger versions. So today, we're going to break down every major ability Rimuru has, explain what they do, and most importantly, why they make Rimuru completely broken. Let's start with the ability that made Rimuru powerful in the first place. When Rimuru reincarnated as a slime, he gained the unique skill Predator. This ability lets Rimuru consume objects, monsters, or even attacks, and then analyze them. Once something is devoured, several things can happen. First, it gets stored inside a special dimension known as stomach. Second, Rimuru can break it down and analyze it. And third, he can potentially gain that target's abilities or recreate them later. This means every enemy Rimuru defeats can literally make him stronger. But Predator also came with other powerful functions. There's mimicry, which allows Rimuru to transform into creatures he consumes. There's isolation, which lets him safely store dangerous objects. And there's analysis, which allows him to understand the properties of anything he devoured. So from the very beginning, Rimuru had an ability that basically lets him steal powers and grow infinitely stronger. And that's just the start. Along with Predator, Rimuru was also born with another insane ability, Great Sage. Great Sage acts like a hyper-advanced AI living inside Rimuru's mind. It constantly analyzes enemies, calculates strategies, and helps Rimuru understand abilities. One of its most useful powers is thought acceleration. This allows him to process information thousands, or even millions of times faster than normal. In battle, that means Rimuru can essentially predict attacks and react instantly. Great Sage also has parallel processing, which allows it to run multiple calculations at once. So while Rimuru is fighting, Great Sage is simultaneously analyzing enemy skills, calculating strategies, and optimizing Rimuru's abilities. But Great Sage eventually evolves into something even stronger. After Rimuru becomes a demon lord, Great Sage evolves into the ultimate skill, Raphael, Lord of Wisdom. Raphael can control Rimuru's abilities with perfect precision and even help evolve new skills. Later on, Raphael evolves again into Manus, Seal, which becomes an independent intelligence that manages Rimuru's entire skill system. At that point, he basically has a genius strategist permanently assisting him in battle. Predator eventually evolves into the unique skill Gluttony. This ability is absolutely terrifying. Another feature is imaginary space. This storage space is so vast that it's practically infinite. And because Beelzebuth constantly absorbs energy from what it consumes, Rimuru can essentially gain power from everything he defeats. So at this point, Rimuru has an ability that lets him erase enemies, absorb their energy, and grow stronger indefinitely, which is already insanely broken. But we're still not done. Alongside Beelzebuth, Rimuru gains another ultimate skill, Uriel, Lord of Vows. Uriel focuses mostly on defense and spatial control. One of its strongest abilities is absolute defense, which can create nearly impenetrable barriers. Uriel also allows Rimuru to manipulate the laws of space using spatial domination. This means he can teleport, distort space, or control dimensional barriers. But the most terrifying ability of Uriel is Infinity Prison. Infinity Prison traps enemies inside an endless dimensional space where escape is basically impossible. So even if Rimuru can't destroy an enemy, he can simply seal them away forever. At this point, Rimuru already has infinite power growth, soul-devouring attacks, perfect analysis, near invincible defense. But his strongest abilities still haven't appeared yet. Eventually, many of Rimuru's abilities combine and evolve into one of his most powerful ultimate skills, Void God Azathoth. This skill is based on the concept of the void and destructive nothingness. Azathoth allows Rimuru to use Nihility Collapse, an extremely destructive energy that originates from the void. This energy is capable of erasing almost anything it touches. Azathoth also enhances Rimuru's control over imaginary space, turning it into an almost limitless dimension. This means Rimuru can store, analyze, and manipulate things within his own personal universe. And because Azathoth also incorporates Beelzebuth's powers, Rimuru can still devour enemies, souls, and energy. So by this stage, Rimuru basically controls an entire void dimension, capable of consuming reality itself. But the ability that might be the most broken is another ultimate skill, Shub-Niggurath, Lord of Harvest. This skill allows Rimuru to manage and create abilities. It can store skills, replicate them, and even grant them to other people. That means Rimuru can take abilities he has collected and distribute them to his allies. But it also allows him to combine and evolve skills into stronger forms. Essentially, Rimuru now has the power to create entirely new abilities. So instead of just stealing powers, Rimuru can now manufacture them, which turns him into something closer to a skill-creating god. On top of all these ultimate skills, Rimuru has dozens of other abilities. He has infinite regeneration, which allows him to recover from almost any injury. He can manipulate multiple elements including fire, water, wind, and space. He can use devastating attacks like Megiddo, which focuses sunlight into thousands of deadly lasers. He can even use time-stop abilities during high-level battles. And thanks to Seal constantly optimizing his skills, Rimuru's powers continue evolving automatically, meaning he's always getting stronger. So when you combine all of Rimuru's abilities together, the result is insane. He can devour enemies and steal their powers, analyze abilities instantly, create new skills, control space and time, regenerate from almost any damage, and erase enemies using void energy. At the end of the series, Rimuru isn't just a powerful monster. He's essentially a god with infinite growth potential, which is exactly why Rimuru Tempest might be the most broken Isekai character ever created. So when you really look at everything Rimuru can do, it's easy to see why he's considered one of the most broken characters in anime. He can devour abilities, manipulate space and time, create new skills, regenerate from almost anything, and even erase enemies using void energy. At this point, Rimuru isn't just a powerful slime anymore. He's basically a god controlling his own universe of abilities. But the real question is Rimuru the most overpowered Isekai character of all time? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. That time I got reincarnated as a slime content, including power scaling, character breakdowns, and the strongest abilities in the series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
You can keep up? Always. Let's turn up the heat. Phantom step. Cute trick? Burn. Try blocking this. Not enough. Then I'll finish it my way. Abyssal sphere. I like that. Here's mine. Let's end it together then. Ha! Go!